Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do something like this for you.
I'm gonna sit behind it.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have it streaming on this too, so I can see everything. All right, we're live. We're live. All right, get out. Go. Okay, come on. Girls, don't open CD, can't have a meeting.
Hey, what? He knows your phone.
Did you take this? No. Corey Fox did. Ooh. Alright guys, I'm going to kind of ignore you, but I have my iPad here, so if you guys have questions, go ahead and just type it below. But we're going over business pricing and what else are we doing? I'm going to kind of ignore you, but I have my iPad. God, I'm talking to myself. Questions, go ahead and just type it below. But we're going over business pricing and we're going over business pricing and stuff. So if you guys have any questions, or if I mess up, or you have any advice, let me know. We'll try to make this a group thing. But I thought we could kind of do this all at once and make it cool. All right, what do we got? So what's going on?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Edgar's concerned about pricing.
Yeah, so I am stuck with how I'm with pricing people,
Okay.
packages versus doing doing a la carte.
Okay.
I know last time me and you had a conversation. I can't remember if you told me you charge what, like $100 for the hour, and then you do everything else separate, or per your $100 session fee, and then they have to buy everything else. Now,
So where are you at with that? What do you do? Do you have a la carte or do you a package?
right now, since I haven't grown super big, I charge $150 for hour and a half of shooting with 10 digital images, and everything else is bottom line.
Okay. Okay. How's that working?
So far, so good. I haven't had anybody say no to that price.
Has anybody been spending more on top of that price?
Yes.
Okay. Like how much on average?
Anywhere from $50 to $100 more.
Okay. Cool.
What do you sell per image extra?
So yeah.
Well, right now they're at $7.99 online, digital images. That's just digital.
Okay. How much?
$7.99.
Okay. I like the 99. I would just do 8 or 10.
And then you can buy the full album for $125, which usually is 40 to 50 images.
Okay. So like everything in the gallery will be
Yeah.
125.
So basically, when the client goes online, they get to pick whatever ones they want, the 10 favorites out of 40, 45 that I upload. They get a promo code, and then they get them digitally downloaded directly after they check out.
Okay. Okay. So I don't really like talking about like if you're too low or too high,
Right.
but I want you to realize that you're doing a lot of work for a little bit of money. Does that make sense? So what I always try to tell people is when you're pricing things out, you have to make sure that you do it by the hour.
Okay.
So for instance, how much does a person usually spend with you? Like let's say beginning to end, from the session, from buying gear, buying products, how much do you think the average customer spends with you?
Anywhere from the $150 that I charge them to $250 to $100.
So let's say $250.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it on the high end.
Okay.
How long does it take you to do that shoot for $250?
Now?
Yeah, it's like how long does it take for the shoot to happen?
Well, I give them the hour and a half.
Okay.
And then post-processing doesn't take long anymore, anywhere from half an hour to an hour.
All right, so let's say 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Pre-shoot consultation on scheduling.
Do you do any of that? Emails, consultations?
Not really. My side, basically, I send them a questionnaire, they fill it out, I get it back, and we talk a little bit about, the questionnaire kind of asks them what they want to see out of the shoot, and then that's where we go from there.
Awesome. So you're about, I would say, 3 hours for everything, which is actually really good. So I mean, 250 divided by 3 hours, 75, 80 bucks. Yeah, $83 an hour, which is awesome. If you could price yourself at anything, how much would you price yourself at per hour? Like, what would you know, what would be good with you, like in the future? Somebody's like, hey, I want to pay you by the hour.
I think with doing it that way, $100 an hour would be perfect.
Okay.
You know, with all the gear that's being bought, and now that I'm actual business instead of just a hobbyist with the photography, actually that would be better.
So $100 an hour. So that number is super important. That's what I go for, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. So there's two ways of charging. So the first way is going to be a la carte. A la carte is meant for the photographer that likes to sell and likes to do in-person sales, or what we call IPS. I'm going to keep calling that IPS. What that means is that you're relying heavily that your work is good enough that when they see your work, that they're going to want to spend money with you. I'll tell you now, when people hire you for photos, they already want to buy something. Right. You just have to give them an opportunity to buy. What happens is a lot of photographers come into the game and they're afraid to sell, they're afraid to talk about money, and they don't give their clients an opportunity to buy, and their clients just don't buy. The biggest example of this is people just sell the digitals, and when they just sell the digitals, then all of a sudden you go, yep, you can print all that, you can do all that if you want, the digitals are X amount of dollars, which is a fine business plan, but you have to sell the digitals at a high enough rate that it makes sense, right? You don't want to just give them photos, because then where's the value in the photography?
Right.
So what I always recommend is doing a session fee. That way you get paid for your time. And the session fee is by the hour. So you already like to make $100 an hour. Why not do a session fee of $100 for that hour, right? That way, let's say they show, and your session fee always acts as a retainer as well. So if you do your, if they don't buy anything with your retainer and session fee, then you're good to go. Also, you get the retainer before the shoot with the contract. Do you do a retainer now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That way, if they don't show up or anything happens, then you still made your $100 for an hour. You're hanging out for 30 minutes, not doing anything. Blah. The real way that you make money in this is by bringing them for in-person sales. Now, you don't do that right now.
I don't.
All right. Now, have you thought about doing in-person sales?
I have. I just
don't know how. Well, let's talk about that now. Actually, we'll talk about it in a second. So, so that's the first way people charge, is a la carte system, right? The a la carte system is the session fee, and then they purchase products after, right? It's easier to make money that way, I feel, because you're doing a connection, but it's also harder because you have to rely on your skills and your work and the way you talk and your customer service to actually get them to buy. Because if you're a jerk, or if your photos aren't up to par, then they're just not going to buy, and then if they don't buy, you're going to feel bad about yourself. A lot of photographers like to do package pricing for the simple fact that it's easy, right? Package pricing is A, B, and C. The A is like the lowest one you can get. Maybe it's a session, maybe it's like 10 digitals and 2 8x10s for like $250. And the C would be like the Cadillac, would be everything. So it'd get them like the USB, 30 prints, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
The issue at hand is that, and maybe that's like $1,000. The issue at hand is that you're always hoping that person's going to get the $1,000 one, but in turn, they see that $250 and their mind goes, I can do $250 is fine. We don't need to get the whole $1,000 worth of stuff. But let's say they even go for the $1,000. Well, then by that time, the $1,000 comes, they say, all right, we want to spend $1,000. We know we get all of this product. Why would they spend any more to get more product than that? Because they feel like it's everything, and you're capping yourself off.
My point in packaging is that you're taking away from what the customer should have control of, and me creating something that I think is the way that I see it.
Yeah, with the packaging.
Yeah, because it's like, I think you're gonna want this, and this.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't really like packages. I do like a la carte a lot better, just for.
But I mean, what if you package in a way that it's stuff that they want?
True.
Like 10% off, 15%. So there's two ways of charging, and the real issue is, and the packaging doesn't require in-person sales. It requires them to come select a package, Now they know they have XYZ in the package. You send that to them. They pick the photos to fill whatever, and you're done. You don't have to do in-person sales. That's for the photographer that's afraid to talk about money, that's afraid to sell, that's afraid of their, I don't want to say afraid of their work, but basically they go, oh, they already paid me $450, and regardless of whatever happens, you know, I'm good. That's cool. I don't like the aspect of capping off my income. It's also scary because, yeah, you'll get some people that never buy anything or take forever to buy something.
Right.
But I also don't like when somebody could spend $5,000, but my max is $1,000, and you're like, I just lost money because now they want to print or do something else.
Right.
Having that with an a la carte works. So what I do is an a la carte system, and I do it very, very, very simply. So I'm looking at your little pricing sheet here, and this thing looks scary to me because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that stuff.
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you're at a restaurant, and you're at BJ's, right? The restaurant, the brew house, BJ's brew house, and you open up their menu, and you're not really, you're like starving, but you don't know what you want to eat, and you go through the menu, and you're going through that because it's a big menu.
Right.
There's so many options that you just don't know what to get,
Right.
and then you start to get irritated and mad, and then you're like, whatever, I'll just grab whatever. I'd rather just go to Chipotle down the street and grab like a burrito. That's how people kind of look at pricing. When we give them too many options, the easiest thing to do is say no. So if you are giving them too much stuff to look at, then they'll just say no to you, and then where do you go from there?
Right.
So that was my first issue when I created my first pricing sheet with the a la carte system, is that I had every single print, every single type of paper that could go with that print, and my clients weren't ordering anything because they either were confused, it took too much time, and they didn't know what to do. But the fact that you're thinking about all that makes a lot of sense. How are you priced? What are you selling? So what do you sell? They do the session, and then
Well, right now, mostly everything has been digital. Everything that's been bought has been digital.
Okay.
None of it has actually been print.
so then you would say, and why? And do you like that? Would you rather sell prints or digitals?
I would like to get both. I'd like the
So,
clients to actually.
Why do you think they're spending more money on digitals than prints?
I would guess, as constantly being said, is that they would rather get it done at Walmart or something.
Sure.
Which is
Sure. Yeah, why not?
yeah.
So you know that once you sell a digital, you're never going to get a print from it, right? Cool. So then why wouldn't you raise the price on your digitals? So the reason that people are buying digitals is because it's cheap
Right.
when they look at your pricing. If you were selling digitals at $50, do you think they would buy digitals and not buy prints? When a print could be like, how much is an 8x10 to read it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Come on!
Well, case in
Mine's
point,
$15. Come on!
mine's 20.
8x10 is
Actually, mine's 20. Mine's 20.
7, 8.5 by 11 is 10.
Okay. So, how much?
$10.
$10? So, say your digitals are 50, that's higher than what we do, but say your digitals are 50, and they go 50, but I really want an 8x10, they'll probably just buy the 8x10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But your digitals are $7.99. Your 8x10 is $10 already. So they're like, yeah, it would be just cheaper for me to do this, and then Costco has it for like $1.
Right.
And then I get the digital and the print and so that's how the people are thinking. Does that make sense? I like that you're selling digitals as well. There's a lot of photographers that won't sell digitals, just do prints, and I feel that's very, let's give the clients what they want, but let's make sure that we charge them enough that they're excited to get what they're going to get.
Right.
Is that cool? So what I want you to first do is start thinking about your pricing and what you can charge. As far as the prints go, the easiest way to kind of do the prints is just going to be times 400% of whatever it costs you within reason. And that's more for like the middle. For example, like I charge $9 for a 4x6, but it cost me 69 cents to buy. I'm not going to charge them $2 for a 4x6. I made it $9. And the reasoning is that that's really expensive for a 4x6. I don't want my people buying 4x6s through me.
Right.
They can go to Costco and buy that. I want them spending money on large portraits through me that I maybe do at 200%. So like a 20x30 for a canvas, I'll only do 200% rather than 400% because I want them to buy that, and it's still a good like $300 profit for me.
Right.
Does that make sense? So that's how we kind of work our pricing. What would you, when we talk about the digital, what would you think that you should charge for digitals now that you're thinking about it? What would be a good number that you're comfortable with, that you think people would still buy but still think twice?
I think that, keeping the prints at like $10 a piece, and digitals I could, anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks.
Cool. So like doubling it at that point?
That way, that is one thing that I have constantly thought about, was having my photography in people's living room. That's something that
that's a goal.
I really strive to.
So, okay, cool. 15, 20 bucks. So that's the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna raise your digital rates, right? So I sell digitals two ways. I sell them individually, or I sell them by the USB. Individually, I sell them for $30 a piece. It gives them a limited copyright. They can do anything with the photos except for sell them or edit them. They can print, share, do whatever. There's no watermark. I don't play the watermark game. I just don't. But that's what I do. $30 individually is enough for me for that one file, one photo, that I know that I'll never see it again from them. But I'm okay with that at that price.
Right.
If that's too low or too high, then you can adjust it. And you can always change it later too. Just try not to change your prices too soon, too fast. And then I sell my USB of everything in the gallery. I don't give them a limit on how many, but they can go into the gallery and look. And within the gallery, if say there's like 80 photos, they can spend $550 to get a USB of all of those images on a USB with the same copyright as the individual ones. Does that make sense?
Right.
Your all right now is 125. Cool? So you're gonna have to raise that.
Okay.
How do you deliver those?
They're all digitally. As soon as they check out, it gets downloaded digitally online.
So you send them a little, who do you go through?
Shootproof.
So you go through and send them a little download link. They download all the photos. They're good to go.
Oh, I don't see the link. It gets done by the site.
Okay.
Site automatically does it to them.
We use Infolio, so I use Infolio, so it's the same thing. I give them a code, they can download it. The higher you go, and this is just a personal recommendation, the higher you go in price, the more I would offer some sort of tangible product.
Right.
That's why I do a USB. If they're spending $550 on something, I'm not going to give them a link to download photos.
Right.
It always feels a little cheap that way,
Right.
A little like I don't care, but I'll send them a little USB with a little card, with a little whatever,
Right.
and then thank them for spending a whole bunch of money through me.
Well, that's what I just ordered.
Yeah, so
To start personalizing them.
yeah, so photoflashdrive.com,
Yeah.
amazing site, and every time I need it, I just reorder it. It has my logo, has everything on it.
Yeah.
Boom, done. I just order a batch of 20 at a time. Digitals are huge.
Yeah.
Digitals are huge, but we also need to make our clients rethink about that, and I think that's the issue that you're running into right now.
I think so too.
What's your USBs that you order?
They are anywhere from like $3 to $10 per USB.
I mean, gig size.
They're 2, 4. I do 4.
Okay.
I do 4, but there's like 2, 4, 8, and 16 and 32. But I use that JPEG Mini Pro. That's software. JPEG Mini. If you guys don't know what that is, JPEGMini.com. It compresses your JPEGs to the smallest possible size it can without losing any resolution or integrity of the file itself. So it makes my 20 megabyte images, I can get them down to like 5. So now I can buy smaller USBs
And still.
and still put them in fully.
What is it called?
JPEGMini.com.
No, the actual.
Photoflashdrive.com. Photoflashdrive.com. Hey, the 9 people that are watching, 10 people. If you guys have questions, type them below. I don't know if people are typing or not typing or what, but like, I see 9 people. I'm gonna like mine. Ooh, like it, Erica. Like it now. Give me a like. Anna, give me a like. Good. Give me all those likes. Ooh, if I keep pushing this, it gives me all the likes.
It only counts as one at the end.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look at this.
He's having fun. He won't
This
care.
look like I'm a social media master.
Where's your love button?
Ooh, I did a sad face. Cool. All right, so digitals are out of the way. We got that. What do you think you're gonna sell your USB for? What would be a good price for that?
I don't know. I think anywhere from 250 to 300, just because I'm producing anywhere from 40 to 60 images now.
Yeah. Why not more?
So I'm just starting, I guess.
What do you mean just starting? So here's the thing that I think a lot of photographers forget your pricing is your pricing. You can change it whenever you want, but you also don't want to be that photographer that bounces back and forth. Oh my God, I'm not selling a ton of USBs. My price is too high. I got to go low. I need to go low. I'm like, I'm selling way too many. I can go high now. You have to find a rate that's going to stay with you for a good 3 to 4 years. I went immediately to 550, and I've been there for like 5 years, and it's a good rate. And I'm happy with that rate. I'm happy with doing an hour shoot, an hour edit, throwing them onto the thing. Any custom edits that they may need, they'll send me an email, and being able to sell that for 550 plus the $95 that I already made from the session, right? So $645 per shoot. Right. That's good with me. I can't imagine going anywhere lower than $400 for that work. At that point, it's a steal. At that point, they're kind of. So don't be afraid of getting that high number. So if you look like a year, if you're in your mind, you're going a year from now, I'm going to raise it to 4. Don't do that. Raise it to 4 now, and just let people know that's your price.
And leave it there for a couple.
Yeah, that's your price. I mean, that's not, maybe do sales in the future to bring it down a little bit. Hey, if I shot, I do that twice a year. If I shot your stuff 2016 and prior, I'm taking $250 off all USBs. So now all my old clients who were buying just prints and stuff can now buy a USB because it's just archived anyways. It's just sitting there.
Right.
So now they can buy it.
I dislike.
Yeah.
It's good images just sitting there.
Right. Yeah. But they're your clients. So if they pay you money for stuff, you're cool, right? So for instance, when we hired Corey to do our stuff here, he only does digitals, as far as I know. Corey, I'm sorry if you only do digital, that's all I know. Then we ended up just paying him money to get the digitals, and then we printed it ourselves and put it up. If you offer just prints, we would have bought those prints through him.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But since I'm a photographer, he's a photographer, we might have just gone a separate route. So he may not even have offered prints because he's like, you can print your own stuff. I'll just charge you a rate. And that's what I do for photographers. I have a homie rate for photographers, which is $400. Okay. So that's what I like. The lowest I go, I charge photographers $400 for USB, no session fee. Just to, share the love. What other questions do you have before I go into IPS?
You narrowed it down fast.
Cool.
I'm happy.
So remember that the first thing is we need to limit what we're selling to our clients.
Right.
We need to make sure that we're not overwhelming them. So when you do an IPS sale, you have to prep your client for that. So the first thing you need to do is schedule that. So how you would work your workflow is that you would do a shoot, say this day, say on Monday. 4 days later, you would send them an email and saying, hey guys, your proofs are ready. Let's schedule a time in the next few days to come in and do in-person sales over at Hatch or my studio or a Starbucks or whatever, or my house or whatever. Even better, if you can, before you leave the session, set up the IPS so that you have your proof system, you have their next appointment ready, you're good to go. Think of it like a doctor's office. You're getting their next thing scheduled, because if you don't, maybe they'll check their email and then they're waiting and everything's getting pushed back. You don't get paid until they get in. Right. So if you can set up their appointment now, and then even at that same appointment when you're setting it up, your IPS sale will be a week from that day. I'll have everything ready. We'll be at this location, blah. So you have that set up. The next thing you would do is then send a reminder. In that reminder would be, hey guys, I'm so excited for you to come see your photos. Remember, this is a sales presentation that you're going to be watching, or in-person sales, or I'm going to be showing you your photos, and then this is how you're going to buy stuff. So you say it in your own words, where it's not like, hey guys, come spend money over here. It's like, this is why you hire me. We're going to come look at your photos. You're buying stuff. They need to know that. On the bottom of that email, I always put, I accept cash, credit card, and check, so that they know to bring stuff. They don't come and be like, I don't bring any money. I'm like, dude, it's in the emails. So I make sure, even the initial email, when we're booking it, hey guys, remember we're doing this, I take blah, blah, blah. Hey guys, reminder, remember I take this, blah, blah, blah. I'll be here, I'll be ready, blah. One thing that I do during in-person sales is I set up a sheet like this, one page, and it's all my pricing. So what I focus on during in-person sales is I focus on canvases, books, and some prints. If they want more prints, then I can offer that. But I want one page of awesomeness. So my page is just one page with the things listed, quantity, original price, discounted price for the day of, and then total. That's it. And then the bottom will total everything out, right? So what you do for your IPS is that I offer 15% off everything that day. Everything must be paid half off. 50% of it must be paid. And the other 50% must be paid in the next 2 weeks. The order will not go through until it's fully paid. So in order for them to maintain that discount, they have to do that half off right there, or 50% retainer. But nothing's ordered until everything's fully paid. Otherwise, you're screwing yourself. If you order and they're like, we changed our mind, done, right? If you can take all of payment that day, even better. So you have the sheet that they fill out. This is towards the end, obviously. I actually even send them the sheet as a Word doc in the reminder to show them the prices of everything and what they're going to get that day. The 15% off that I do is for that hour, 2 hours only that we're in there. It's not any time else. If they say, can we do it later? Totally. You're just not going to get 50% off. Right. Stick with that, right? You're selling, you're a business. They want to buy, they need to buy. Right. They're prepared to buy. So from right there, in-person sales is I get them into the room. Let's call it an hour. Let's call it you're in there for an hour. I spend the first 10 minutes seeing how they're doing. I usually have like drinks and snacks, and we just kind of talk and bullshit and, just kind of whatever, because by the time they're my clients, they're my friends at that point. Right. You then want to make sure that you have a way for them to view their photos on the TV. So we have that 60-inch monitor at Hatch. They can view the photos. You can kind of talk through them. And you don't really want to become a salesperson, and so being a photographer, the easiest thing to do is let them ooh and ah their own photos. So as they're looking through their photos, they're ooh and ahing. You're making little notes on the ones that they ooh, the ones that they ah, the ones that they love. And then there's a few software things that you can have, or if you just have a laptop with Lightroom in it. After I do a slideshow to music, so that's the first round. So there's slideshow to music, 80 images. You do them at like 3 seconds a piece. It'll be done in like 5 minutes. I then go through with them, and I go, do you like this? Like this? And then you can either 5-star or 1-star as you go through. Keep only the 5 stars. And then by the time it's done, hopefully they have like 10, 20 images. You're like, these are the ones you guys love, right? Awesome. What sizes do you guys want of these? And then you go through. And then just all it is filling out papers. By the time it's over, that's their total. They're done. You're a hero. It's over. It's really, really simple. But I think a lot of people freak out. The issue is being able to not change your pricing on the fly and making sure that when they know everything that's happening. The last thing you want is somebody to come in and go, I didn't know we had to buy these today. You have to kill that. You have to go, we sent you 3 emails, we sent you a reminder, you knew what was going down. And I even joke while I'm shooting, I'm like, what size canvas do you guys want to get with this shot? And then they're like, oh yeah, we need canvases. And then, of course, in Hatch, we have all the prints everywhere. So that way they can go, what's an 8x10? And you pull out the 8x10 that we have up there, and they're like, this is it. And you put it on the wall, and then they're like, oh, that's tiny. It's just because that's what they think within the industry. They think an 8x10 is an 8x10. So, I like all my photos. So, yeah. So is that something you think you can do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. So what you need to do is you need to create a day of pricing sheet, similar to this, something that they can fill out, you can fill out, and tell me when you're done about what.
I'm just saying I'm not texting.
Okay,
yeah, okay.
He's not texting, guys. He's taking notes.
Jeramie's not full of shit.
I didn't say that.
I get the fucking text.
Ooh, I got 10 likes so far. 11 likes.
Are they your own?
No. They're not my own. Tell me about your pricing. How'd you get your prices? How'd you charge?
This was all set up. Initially, I had Smug Bug.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like the way that it was set up. I think it looked very unprofessional, very amateurish.
Mm-hmm.
And not having the ability to give somebody a discount or bring down give them digitals. And I even emailed their customer service like we don't offer that just yet. And I was like, well, I can't have that.
Yeah. And everybody else offers it.
Exactly.
Right?
And then ShootProof actually paid me
to get out of
to leave
yeah.
Smug Mug, which was pretty great. The pricing here is not anything that I want it to be. It was just a start for me.
Okay.
And so far it's done well, but now the way that you're putting stuff, you're right, there's so much to look at that maybe I should just set it down to maybe a total of like 10 different things. I think something small, medium, a little bit larger, and then full wraps or canvases.
I mean, there's always a special menu, right? There's always like you have your sales menu, and then if somebody wants something, they go, oh, I really need like a square 12 by 12. Can you do that? Yes, I can do that. My lab does that.
Yeah.
but not everybody orders that, so why would it be on there?
Right.
So, for instance, if I were to ask you, hey, how much is a 4x6? What would you tell me?
I would tell you that they're $2.
$2? And that's if I looked on that sheet. There's only one 4x6 for $2. Okay. What about a 3x5? Wait, what's this? What about a 3x5, 3.5 by 5? How much is that?
Depends on which.
There you go.
Right.
So that's what it is. We don't know. I just like map prints. If I told you like, I want a 4x6, how much is that? Like, I can tell you $9. Like my print starts at $9.
Right.
That's what it is. But I'm looking at this and like you have, the wallets with like the glossy, the square, the rounded corners. I mean, like, they don't care. They don't care. They're like, what's the difference between? Do you have an example of that? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, do they just cut it off? So, yeah, wallets, 4x6, 8x10, 5x7, 11x14, and then you can also do custom sizes available as well. Let's chat, something like that. Make it simple for them. Make them. I don't know if people are doing anything. Make them not have to think about buying stuff,
Right.
because they want to buy, right? So you can theoretically turn this into, that can all move up, this can all be gone, and this can be easily one page. How much does it cost? I like how you did $2 for the 4x6, because I was like, I wouldn't charge $2 for 4x6. I don't want them to buy in that. How much does it cost you? Who's your lab through?
Pay photo.
Okay. How much is it as a 4x6 for them?
That I
Through
pay?
them, yeah.
I think it's like 16 cents.
Okay, cool. So, 10 comments? I can't see the comments, guys. I don't know what's happening with my life. You guys see comments?
Yeah.
What are they saying? Why can't I see it on the iPad? Oh. Sorry guys, I didn't know there was comments. Apple, if you're watching this, you're screwing me up. Alright, Ron will be asking questions, but hold on. Pat, I like the idea of offering both, but it has to be in a way that you're not confusing your client and killing your own pricing. Harley, I like custom packages by using print credits. I know what you're talking about. I think that might be a little confusing, but yeah, people buy a certain amount of credits. Each credit goes towards a different item. So like an 8x10 might be 2 credits or 1 credit, and then they can go that system, which is awesome. So you have to find out the value per credit and then go from there, and then you can sell your packages that way. Thanks, Karen. I like this shirt. So when it comes to printing, do you guys personally send them off to a service or do them yourselves? I use a company called Zenfolio, who's attached to my my lab, which is MPix Pro, and I don't have to do anything but approve the order. There is a little service fee you pay to Zenfolio to make that happen. Karen, I agree. You do have to figure out how much you need to make before you can decide offerings are sold at. Although I like the 400% mark that we kind of chatted about, and not to go really below that, just because, even if you don't need to make as much as me or somebody else, then you're not undervaluing yourself. Yeah, well, I buy like a huge bulk, Karen. So mine's 3 to 5 for the flash drive, and then the box is also like 3 to 5. Sorry, I didn't go through that. So maybe mine's at like 10, but I buy at like 40 at once, so it brings the price down. Yours are probably more fancier than mine, anyways. So I get the kind of basic ones. This is Edgar Sierra, everybody. Edgar Sierra. Cool. I think that's it. I don't think that's it anymore. Okay, good questions, everybody. Good questions. So, Edgar's now going to update his pricing, and we're going to talk about this again later. Give me something narrow, give me something awesome. I want you to then focus on your pricing. And Karen actually made a really good point. So I want you to focus on your pricing and make sure that everything you charge, you have to put yourself in a scenario of what the clients would buy. So if there's a way for you to look at what people are buying in the past that's not digitals, maybe go that route and kind of figure out like what's selling the most of, because you want the median price to be what you're selling the most of. It's really, really hard to figure that out as you go. So maybe start with the 400% and then work up from there. But I think, what happened?
My manual deleted everything I wrote down previously.
Ron's got it. Well, I'll repost this. You can watch it again.
You on your notepad?
It deleted. I don't think I did.
Okay, go to the delete file.
It's called Mallow.
Memo.
Memo.
See on notes? You can go back.
You have an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't.
It says recently deleted. You can just go boom.
There's nothing on there.
Everything you deleted just went away. So it's saved there.
You don't have it. Tag your iPhone. Just watch this video. Live your life. Cool. So I believe that a lot of people were buying digitals because they were so cheap.
Right.
I think that when you alter the digital price, it's going to be a little more competitive, and they're going to look at prints a little bit more. That will help your goal of getting prints up on the wall, and also not removing digitals from your pricing, because digitals from your pricing are maybe what some people have hired you for, and a lot of people hire me because they know that I sell the digitals.
Right.
So, like I said, I was having this conversation with another photographer who's been shooting for a lot longer than me, and he basically said, "Hey, I do a shoot, and they get all the images for $500. That includes a shoot and everything." He's like, $500 for an hour shoot and an hour of working, editing after that. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm fine with it. So that's what kind of got me thinking. I'm like, I'm cool with $645 for an hour. If I did 6 shoots in the next like 3 days, so I usually do about 2 or 3 a day. But if say 2 a day, I'm cool with making $1,200 every single. You know, if people were coming in that and they were just spending that money,
Right.
I'm cool with that. It doesn't happen that way for me, because some people buy the USB, some people buy prints, and that's where we have to kind of figure it out from there. But IPS sales are the way to go. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay. Any more questions on this?
I'm good.
Ronald, you're up. All right, so Ronald has some pricing here, and this is for session, professional hair, and makeup for $250. This is for your boudoir?
It is.
Okay, so you're creating a package of boudoir stuff?
No.
Or is it...
It's a la carte, so it's the item of the book or the album,
Okay.
and then canvases and wall prints, and then digitals down there.
Okay. Awesome. So the session, professional hair and makeup is $250.
Correct.
And so that includes your session fee and hair and makeup.
Correct.
Your goal is that you're forcing them to do hair and makeup,
Correct.
so you don't have to worry about it. Is there in your pricing, is there a way for them not to do hair and makeup?
Not currently.
Okay. What if they have their own hair and makeup?
A couple times it's been done, and then I get like a $50 credit.
Okay. So they still pay the same rate. Just curiosity, what is your session fee for this? What would your session fee be without the hair and makeup?
Well, it's basically, well, the hair and makeup goes from $40 to $150 depending on who and what day and whatever else.
Mhm.
So that means I'm basically at $100,
Okay.
and then that way I'm covered on hair and makeup. If I find somebody cheaper,
Okay.
then I swallow that.
So your goal is a $100 session.
Is that too cheap?
No, I mean, this is what you're making. So you're obviously not making the hair and makeup money.
No.
You're paying them whatever the extra is. So no, I don't think it's cheap. I like that you're putting value into it. But I'm just trying to get a little rough draft of what you're doing. How long is this session?
Theoretically, 60 to 90 minutes.
Okay. I would put that on there as well, somewhere. The length of time so that people kind of know.
That's what I need to come up with too, something more like that.
Yeah. And so this is kind of how I have my pricing, something similar to that, but kind of going over everything. I have what I call the portrait, which is a $95 session fee, password protected gallery, on location, Reno and Tahoe, or in studio, and able to purchase blah. So it's kind of, it just lists everything that comes with it to make it look chunkier and cooler rather than just like session fee.
Right.
Because they're like, what's a session? Like, what, a lot of people ask me, like, when I send it, like, what do I get with the session fee? I'm like, this is what you get, but you don't get stuff. If you want stuff, you have to buy stuff later. I saw 4 people. Quattro. So
Make sure I save this one.
I'll put it on my YouTube as well. I'll save it and throw it on YouTube. So you can just follow me on YouTube. Guys, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Sorry, I looked at the wrong thing. Follow me on YouTube. Okay, so how Ron has this set up is that he has his session professional hair and makeup for $250. He makes $100 of that and theoretically pays the rest or less to the hair and makeup artist for coming doing hair and makeup on location, or do you send them somewhere?
On location.
Is your hair and makeup close, or do they have a studio? Do they have a space?
Both.
Okay. I like the on location, but I also like the idea of you being able to send them somewhere. Why I like that is that it usually takes maybe hair and makeup maybe 1 to 2 hours to do something. You don't necessarily have to be there or be around. Even if they were doing it on location, I like the idea of not interacting with, let the hair and makeup do their thing. Let them be the heroes of that rather than the photographer. And I see this all the time, photographers standing around, bullshitting, talking, just really kind of just not making the environment like relaxing, before the shoot. And that's really what we want. That way you can set up what you need to set up. When they come, you're ready to go. It's relaxing, it's a good time. So if your hair and makeup has a place and it's easier for them, you can just tell your client this is where you go for the first part and this is where you come to me. But the other thing might be your client might be late coming back to you or something like that. But working with a good hair and makeup artist can help. How are you charging your... All right. So I like that you're offering linen and leather so he has signature books, which are albums. What's the difference between your signature book and your premium albums?
It's through like Miller's, so they're more economy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to figure out how to work it properly. That's the luxury line versus the economy line.
Okay. They don't know where it's coming from.
No.
Right? Who's your premium? Premium through Kiss?
Can go either Kiss or Miller's.
Okay. So Miller's has a lower end and a higher end? All right. So then now my question is both have linen and leather?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you offer an economy?
Good point.
I like the idea of offering one set of albums only. That's amazing because it's still representing your work, right? So I get what you're doing. If I offered a print here, I could sell a print here from MPix Pro like I do, or a print from Costco, but I'm still going to sell it and charge my 400%. I just don't want them having my work on a Costco print.
Right.
Not that Costco's bad, it's just, it's whatever.
Karen said, I think it's important to note that most photogs spend more than an hour on their editing per session.
I agree, but that's just for reference. So if it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, then you're working towards, then your money per hour changes, right? So if you guys didn't hear that, Karen said that most photographers spend more than an hour. I agree. Although, for in-person sales, I truly, truly feel that there needs to be a proofing system rather than fully editing all the photos. So if you're spending 2 or 3 hours going through to present your client with photos to use for in-person sales, and you are editing every single photo, that's unrealistic for them buying every single photo. You can't expect them to buy, every client to buy every single photo, so don't fully edit all your stuff. Edit the ones they actually purchase and go through, and you'll have that list after your in-person sales. But the first round should be a proofing system. You should be doing a lot of stuff in camera, making sure that your exposure, that any big, gross acne spots are gone, but don't go through each photo and edit it completely because that's too much and your clients aren't going to buy everything and it's just going to sit there. But it takes me about an hour to edit, just the way I do my stuff. Yes, soft edit, proof, soft edit, same thing, Karen. We're on the same page. Cool, I like that. Good point. Karen, Hatch Lab is looking for people to do workshops soon, so...
Nonprofit, 501c3.
We're a nonprofit, and we got to start hiring people. Okay, so going back to your signature books, I highly recommend just doing one, offering the linen and the leather. The linen is going to be cheaper because it's linen. The leather is going to be more expensive, and that can be your premium, that can be whatever, and they have the options for both. But yeah, I wouldn't do signature books at all just because... Oh yeah, I agree. So I said, 550s, takes me 2 hours, so I make like 300. Got it. That was Karen's comment. Everybody ignore everything I just said. So, all right, we'll stick with this. So, does that work?
If you only do one versus both,
Mhm.
is that going to alienate some of your marketplace? Because not everybody's going to have the money to buy the 12x12.
No, your rate's your rate. You know, I mean, there's always somebody that sells something cheaper than you. I don't think it should be you that sells something cheaper than you. No.
The constant say know your worth.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I mean,
We're still making a ton of money up here, so that's good.
Because I've been told by plenty, like one of my clients was like, "Hey, dude, you're really cheap."
yeah. Well, yeah, and somebody tells you that, you're like, oh, shit. Like, I get what he's saying. Like, he's like, you do good work, but you don't charge as much. And if a client tells you you're cheap, then that's never good.
One client told me, he goes, "You sure that's
You got
right?"
it.
I go, yeah, he goes, "If you want any more, just add a zero to that invoice." Because no, we're okay.
Danielle, I like your questions. $550 with all the digitals. How can you make a $3K sale with that? Will they still buy stuff when have the cow? I don't know if I read that last part right. Personally, that's just me. I'm fine with it. I do 2 to 3 shoots every given day. This is for the digitals only. Yes, a lot of my clients. So I'll tell you that I focus a lot on canvases, so fine art gallery wraps, and I focus a lot on digitals, or the USB per se. Not everybody buys that 550 USB. That's only if they go for the digitals. So I sell my canvases at a higher rate. So yes, I do have people that I don't make a lot of 3K sales. I'm on average like 16 to 22. But no, so I don't make a 3K sale with that. But for what I do, I feel like it's good for me and for my business. But yeah, I mean, you know, if I wanted to make more, I could definitely raise that USB rate. I don't think I would sell as many of them, but yeah. When they have a cow, when they have the cow, what does that mean, Danielle? When they have the cow. Oh wait, are we talking like milk? Oh, so they have all the digitals. Why would they buy any more? Because they have all the digitals. I get it. Okay, sorry. So
We went from photography to milk.
that's how my mind thinks. I didn't think she meant it like that, but I'm like, that's how my mind kind of went. The cow and the milk for free. I got it. We're on the same page. Yeah, I mean, theoretically they can print. I think a lot of people that buy the USB are buying it for the sentimental reasons of having the USB. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just the way you sell. So I definitely push for them to buy prints and canvases, but I also push for them to buy the USB as well. And a lot of my clients actually will buy prints before and then buy the USB later on during a sale or something like this just to have it. I don't sell much, but like I said from the beginning, $550 for the USB is a price that I'm comfortable with them just taking them all and doing what they want with them. Usually it's for Facebook posting, printing small prints on the wall, but they do buy canvases and prints through me as well. So I feel good about it. Yes, I go for high volume. I think that's kind of known with me. It's just always how my business has been. I still have the energy to do it. I think if I stop high volume, maybe in the next few years and focus more on the commercial work, then I can raise my rates naturally. And that way I'm not too worried about getting the money in. I do great right now for my business, and it's naturally high volume, although I don't feel like, I don't know, is 3 high volume a day? Like, I mean, you know, when I used to bartend and serve, I used to have 2 or 3 jobs. I feel like 3 is good a day, and that's when I max out my schedule. So I book, you know, morning, afternoon, and an evening, and then I do that every single day unless I have a wedding, and then I just keep pushing people out. I don't know if that's high volume. Is that high volume? Cool. All right, sorry, I'm going to get back to Ron. I'll look back at this in a second, guys. Milking the cow. Milking the cow. Yes. Sometimes up to 20 a week, and the weekends are a little bit busier. If I don't have a wedding, then I'll do up to 6 on a Saturday and Sunday, and kind of spread it throughout my day. It depends on location as well. If I have to go to Tahoe and back, then I'll change it. So Ron, we have 1 set of albums,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have are I like your canvas wraps and wall portraits. Obviously, so you have 4 of the main sizes that you have right there, and I'm sure they can do more if need be, having more.
Right.
So what's your goal with when you do the this? Is your goal? Oh, we'll get back to it in a sec. I'll look at it in a sec. I gotta keep my mind straight for this. Something being weird.
15 shoots in a week. How are you human?
I just work. Why is that? That's not a thing. I just work. I don't have any friends.
Oh.
I live in front of the computer. My girls do stuff. My wife yells at me for working.
So here's Pat's.
But I just work. I work.
Out of courtesy, do you guys have physical portfolios?
I like to show people. Pat, I have albums and prints as examples to show. I don't have a physical portfolio because it's always changing. The closest thing I have to a physical portfolio will be my website.
And then Danielle said 3 a day is high volume. So yeah, you're killing it at high volume. Hope your kids see you.
No, they don't see me. Well, they're here right now. They see me right now. I luckily edit. I do everything from home. My schedule actually rotates around their schedule. So it's obviously summer now, so it's a little bit harder. And we have a sitter when I'm not here. But during school, a lot of my stuff is actually done. I don't shoot as late, so I get to shoot during the day during school, and then editing happens in the evening. But that's how I do it. So the beauty with Danielle, from what I remember, is that I love following her threads because she asks questions, and that's the biggest thing. So I've actually learned that from her. So every time I see somebody that I'm kind of like iffy about, like what they're doing with their business, I always ask questions, and I think about her every time because she'll literally just go through and ask. So wait, I'm gonna say, and she doesn't say anything. She just asks you questions. 3 days. Who's this? Wouldn't you like to have a life? No, Karen. This is my life. I'm a photographer. Photographer. Why are we on this? This is what I do, guys. You know what? Just for sake, I only shoot 1 a day. No, I shoot 1 every week, and I make $10,000 from that. This is just what I do right now. I mean, I'm 33. This is what I do with my life. You know, I mean, we remodel the house all the time, so we got to spend the money on that. Family vacations, you know, we work hard, play hard, but this is just what I do. My dad used to work 14 hours a day at a nail shop doing manicures and pedicures, and, you know, people called him crazy doing that, but that's how we have to pay the bills, so that's what I got to do. And I'm happy with it. I'm not dying. I'm not burnt out. I feel good about it.
You get your back massages. That's it.
I used to be a massage therapist, and I used to do a lot of massages and not make any money, but I would work harder than I do now. I like this. How did you come up with your numbers on pricing? As far as your canvas wrap and...
I put them on an Excel spreadsheet and just started figuring it out.
Okay, just put it together. And you're comfortable with that?
That was getting
I think
personal. Your life should be your fam.
Got it, Karen. My life's my fam.
Live your life.
Yes, overworked father. I get it. It's like a Dr. Phil moment. And then, what's that? A smiley face with the tongue out?
No, smile.
No tongue.
No tongue. Oh, sorry.
It's a big D.
It's a big D. What'd you say, Edgar? That's big D is what he said. So Karen sent me a big D.
Wow. I just took a turn.
I like this. So, do you have hair and makeup artists already priced out?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the price, like 150 is good for them? Cool.
I'm just gonna leave that there for you. You just look at it.
I could play more. But the goal is travel, Karen. So the goal is travel. So the money that I'm making that we're saving. So we have a good savings. We're doing everything for the house. We're bettering our lives. But the goal is to travel more because I didn't get to grow up and travel. So the money that we're spending, actually, we're traveling more. So we get to go on with total of 3 trips this year, which normally it's 1 a year. So work hard now. Blah blah blah. My wife works a lot as well. That's just what we do. When I'm old, I'll retire. You're at 15%. I like this. What questions do you have on this? This is good. Okay. This is good. Up to 10. All right, take away the up to. I never like when people doubt. So, I don't know if you do this as well. I never promise a certain amount of numbers. And if I do, then it has to be that number. I'm always scared of a certain amount of number. So if somebody says you get 15, 20, and you do, and this might be drastic, but you do a shoot, and it's supposed to be an hour shoot, but it turns out to be 10 minutes, and you're like, how do I find 10 images out of this? I got like 2. The kid wasn't, smiling, so you promised that. So that's always scares me. Ron has here session fee, and then if they buy 10 fully edited digital images, it's $500, which is awesome. 20 fully edited digital images, $750, and then 30 for $900. So they pick those numbers. Out of curiosity, what if they pick like 15? So they have 10.
That'd be up to 20, so it'd be in that range.
Okay.
So that'd be
so your up to is
1 to
gone.
10, 11 to
I
20.
like the idea more of 10 fully edited images for $500. Each additional image after that, $50. Or 65. It has to be 60 because 10 right now is.
Well, that's why the volume discount, so that's a 50
right.
piece. That's
but the volume discount would be going up more to 20. Right? So if they did 10 for 500 and they go, well, how much is each
that's
more?
50, that's $37.50, that's $30.
Yeah, so you push them to that. So if they're like, I want 2 more, I'd be like, all right, well, each one after that's $100. And they go, that's already $700 then, but if you do $750, now we're up to 20. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do, to be honest. I mean, the reason that they're getting a package at a discounted rate,
right?
But the individual price would be higher than that.
Okay.
Cool.
Kind of focusing on luxury and making it a separate higher end.
And it's for them not thinking. I mean, if you just had the individual is $100 each or something like that, maybe even have that as it is, but this is their package pricing. I honestly think that people, when they do their boudoir shoots with you, they're going to be focusing more on the product themselves. For instance, like a leather album to give to hubby,
right,
rather than the digitals. Because if they get the digitals, they're just going to make a book. And you're pricing out I like that you're pricing out your digitals are higher than the actual products, so that we're pushing them toward the products. The goal is if somebody does a boudoir shoot with you, they go through, they pick their images, and you make an album for them. Now, as far as your album goes, are there a limit of images, limit of pages?
20 pages, and then additional pages are that, and that goes up to 80 inches.
So you're charging by the page rather than by the image?
Yeah, I should probably put
No, it's fine if you do.
a maximum of 2 to 3 pictures per page.
Yeah, but that gets a little too detailed.
Okay.
Like what if they, I mean, I like the maximum, but sometimes I like putting like 6 images.
20 pages equals 15 images.
No, more than that, because you need at least 20.
Then you have a couple centerfolds.
Yeah, so don't think about that.
Okay.
I like this. I think 20 pages is awesome, and maybe it's something that you describe to them when you go through.
Okay.
And you can send them a proof before you send it out to print.
Yeah, so you always send them a proof. So like systems like Kiss that I use, basically I can, what I always tell my clients is they get a 20-page album credit like in their weddings or albums. Each additional page is X, so mine's like 30, 50, $100, whatever. From there, when people go, how many images go into like a 20-page album? I say on average it's 40 to 60, but your album's completely custom, it's up to you. So if you do 1 page per, then you'll get 20 pictures, but you can do blah. So we'll work on it together, and that's what I tell them. But it always is dependent on images. So whenever I send them the first draft's going to be way bigger than what I think they're going to actually do. That way we can limit it and narrow it down so it doesn't scare them as much. Cool.
The one thing I like about Miller's versus Kiss is Kiss, even when you do the VIP and you get the extra templates, it's still not quite.
They don't do that anymore.
Why don't you go to Zoom?
ZNL?
Yeah.
They're kind of cheap.
Are they?
Kind of cheap.
Nations Lab, Tim, I don't know if Tim was on here. Tim uses Nations Lab, and I saw a book, and they were pretty good.
How are the, you've had SNL?
Yeah, they used to be the old Artisan Slate.
Oh.
Are they good?
They're an entry level of mine, I think.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, which is fine. It's really, I mean, Kiss is like, for leather albums, it starts off, for us buying a 20-page album is around $300 to $400. And then you're charging your client X, it's higher end for sure. So you have to find a company that you like, that you love, and I'm pretty sure Karen, Danielle, any other photographers on here, whatever album companies you guys use, feel free to put the links down there at the bottom.
Which one do you guys use?
I use Kiss, kiss.us, keep it simple, stupid. And I've used them forever. I've done a couple reviews on them. Those are the ones you'll see at Hatch when you walk into the viewing rooms.
Right.
And I love them. I feel like they're on the expensive side, but I actually haven't priced out albums in a while. I've just been happy with them. Nations Lab, they have this promo. I don't know if they still do, but it's like $99 for a 20-page, 12x12 leather album. And Tim Kanzaki used that, and he has some in his hand, and they actually look pretty good. But the long haul, we don't know. The last thing you want is a client to call you and be like, the ends, their bindings are coming off. Okay. Yeah, your album company will totally replace it, but all of a sudden now you're like, you've lost your hero moment where it looks amazing. So you just find it, and all these companies will provide sample albums for you as well, so you're going to find what you want to do. But just know the more that you have to pay, the more you charge.
Right.
But if you're charging a lot more and you show them this amazing product, then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Good. Ron. So Ron's selling albums, canvases, portraits, and digitals. 4 things. Love it. I think that's great. They don't have to think about it. They're good to go. They see the pricing before. And then is this your final layout, or are you going to make it prettier?
We'll make it prettier.
Okay.
That was the rough draft. That took a month. Anyway. So we'll get rid of that one.
Kiss and Red Tree, cool. Kiss is good. Red Tree, I've actually heard a lot. I don't have an album of them, but I've heard a ton of good stuff.
You might want to read Pat's.
Do them, Pat. See, I'm scared of doing. Pat said I'm scared of doing various shoots a week because I feel like my creativity with that. Pat, yes. So if you follow me, then you know that I do a ton of creative shoots on my own because of that reason. But photography is the only thing that I do, and I do it professionally. So it's my career and it's my income. So you have to find ways to be creative. One thing to think about, Pat, is that when people are hiring you to do work, you may be doing the same thing over and over and over again, but it's the first time for them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if I have a boudoir shoot, say I'm doing a boudoir marathon of like 30 boudoirs in a week, and I have the set poses by the end of it, I may just get burnt out of those poses, but it's the first time for those clients. Unless they're doing 30 shoots with you in that week, and all of a sudden they're like, we're doing the same thing over and over again. They have no idea. So you have to think on the money aspect and the creative side. If you need more creative stuff, then book your creative stuff, get your friend, throw some blood on their face, and get cute with it. Felicia's watching. Hi, Felicia. That's the opposite of bye, Felicia. Cool. So we're coming to the end, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Do you guys have any more questions before we end it?
Nope. No, but thank you, Jeramie Lou.
Thank
So
you, Jeramie.
I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel, and then it'll be on my page as well. If you guys are more than welcome to watch it, keep commenting. I'll keep checking the comments. I love that we had some photographers on there as well asking questions, because this is a community, and the goal is that we can all not do the same thing, but get similar so that we're not fighting the $100 against the $10,000 photographer, and that people start to value us a little bit more. Cool, that's it. I'm going to go over here so people stop talking to me.